In today's video, I'm testing out the single greatest update that has come out for any F1 game. Yep, we're diving into the brand new F1 Manager free update, which is Season Customization, which includes custom rosters, creating drivers and staff, calendar customization, and rules and regs customization. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, they've dropped 2 free packs of livery DLC for the Creator Team Career Mode. We boot up the game and we go to a new Creator Team save, and look at this. We are met immediately with a lovely new splash screen. Creator Team Season Customization. Team lineups, race calendar, rules and regulations, all customizable. I need to sit here for a moment. I actually can't believe this is a real thing. I talked about it in depth in yesterday's video, so go check that out if you want to also hear me rant about the EA F1 game and what it means for them seeing this update. But now we're testing it out, and I'm probably going to be blown away even more. It's going to emphasize my point that all of this, what you're about to see, gives EA and Codemasters no excuses in the future, in my opinion, for having this kind of stuff native. This is native in the game. So I'm playing it. You can play it. Any one of you who has the game, F1 Manager 24, you can play this. Whether that's on PlayStation, Xbox, you can do this customization. Customization that typically in the past has only been available with PC modding. But this is native in the game. So there is clearly no FOM red tape, and they've implemented it. I mean, so far, just based off this in a lovely, slick way. But let's click into it then. Team lineups. So you can go in and change everything. So you can go in and change everything. All these drivers are changeable. The key staff and the engineers and starting balance. So let's say, okay, Williams, I want to give them like a lot of money. So we can go and give them 100 million. The different options are 40, 20, 10. So we've got fixed options, but there's a nice wide array. There are 5 different options of starting balance you can give these teams. Infrastructure as well. You can go in and give them like the max facilities, max car performance here, or like the lowest car performance, for example. We can go in and make all the fantasy driver transfers you could ever imagine. Lando Norris in the Red Bull alongside Max Verstappen. Why don't we, put in, we'll bring in William Joseph across. We're going to give Verstappen Bono in Red Bull. We're going to give the Ferrari team, we're going to give the Ferrari guy, the head Red Bull job. We're going to go to Ferrari and then bring in someone else. We can put in the Red Bull guy. You can swap them all out. And if you want full, honest, complete, bonkers stuff, you can just click randomize. Randomize all teams with real F1 staff or all teams with real and creator staff. Let's go with real staff only. Yabba dabba doo. And speaking about yabba dabba doo, George Russell alongside Lando in the Ferrari, Ricciardo Sonoda, oh wow, Sargent and Bottas in the Red Bull, Ocon now. What? This is a really cursed lineup. Oh my lord, this is a really cursed lineup. But this is sick. You can just randomize it. That's awesome. And all the staff as well, by the way. All the staff's randomized. And then we can go in and change some of the starting balances and whatnot. And then obviously we can go revert. And we can revert all the teams back to how they were. So we can customize all of that. And then you can save it, I believe. So I think you can then carry on with that lineup for like a different save if you wanted to, I think. Yeah, there you go. Save slots. You can save this. So let's say you find like a random one you like let's say this Sargent and Lando and Ferrari, all this stuff, Joe and Magnussen. You can then go ahead and save this and then come back to it, or you can try a new one with the same allocation. So you don't have to kind of redo everything every single time. Let's say you find a scenario that you really like and you want to revisit it down the line, you can do. And then whilst we were doing it with real drivers, I believe you can just go in very aptly. We've got Alonso in the McLaren here. Let's go into Ricciardo and then let's create new, and you can just create a new driver. So I can just go in and go for alongside Fernando Alonso, I can just put in Jensen Button. I can change the photo, but it's only just based off the generic photos they've got. So obviously on PC, probably you'll be able to, you know, like download a mod for the faces, but on console, you'll just pick a random driver face. But to be fair, remember, because it's F1 Manager, you're really rarely seeing the driver's face, really. If ever, you know. So as long as they've got the name and, you know, the nationality, the age is correct, etc., you can, you know, we could recreate a young Jensen Button, you know, and transplant him into this grid. United Kingdom, we can go 20 years old, marked ability up, experience is like a rookie, mid-pack racer. We can adjust these things, and so we can make like a young bucking Jensen Button with massive smoothness. Let's go for that. Lower cornering, braking maybe a little bit lower, reactions though higher, and we can just, you know, development rate, we can adjust that. Aggression levels, very low aggression I feel with JB, or maybe, to be fair, back in the day, maybe average, and then we can just create him, and it's gonna be, oh, that kind of looks like, you know what, that actually kind of low-key looks like a bit of a Jensen Button if you put him through a fax machine. So we can accept that, and then we've got a Jensen Button of our own. Select him, and there you go. We've got Jensen Button alongside Fernando Alonso. Now, I know it's not entirely like, you know, the same as if you were to mod it in and have the photo or whatever. But let's say, just picture this. Any of you on console that have watched my videos over the years and can't do the stuff that I've been able to do on PC. Now, you have the ability to get near enough. Like, this is really cool because, like I said, you're not going to see the photo. So for all intents and purposes, you have got a young Jensen Button alongside the older Fernando Alonso in McLaren. You can go in, and as they told us, and I spoke about in yesterday's video, you can go in and replace. There's a limit, but they've opened the limit up where you could replace every single driver in this grid. So I saw comments. You could go in, if you're an American fan, you could go in and create kind of almost like an IndyCar F1 season if you wanted to, and create 20 fake drivers with 20 fake IndyCar drivers with their names, different photos obviously, but you could do it, and you could try and, you know, link, you know, oh, Red Bull has to be the best team from IndyCar, whatever, etc., etc. The same goes for any other motorsport. You can do that. You could put MotoGP riders in there, their names, obviously, again, the faces aren't accurate, but who cares? You just, for that bit, just use your imagination. But it's amazing to actually have that in the menu, like the name and that much customization, where you can edit all of these things natively on a console and PC. And it's just baked into the game. Unreal stuff. And that is just the team lineup stuff with the engineers, swapping them out. You can put F2 engineers in there. You know, we can we can create engineers and, you know, affect their communication, feedback, composure, their experience, etc. Everything. So you can create new engineers. You can create new star. Everything is now on the table for you to customize with this menu. And then once you're done, you just save slot and you're good. So that's the team lineups. That's the custom roster update. Now we go into race calendar. The custom race calendar. Oh, this is so well done. This is so well done. Look how slick this menu is. Look how good this is. Can you imagine this on the EA F1 game? Honestly, I keep saying in my own head now. I'll say it again in this video. No excuses. No excuses now. This is unreal. This is amazing. Look at it. We've got different periods for the season. So you can then swap out, I guess, each track. So we've got Bahrain. We can replace it with any single one. Can we do duplicates? Silverstone goes there. Oh, no, I think it got moved. Okay, so it moves it. So you can't do duplicate races, but you can replace them. So Bahrain's now gone to round 12. You have to keep the first race of the season, but then look at this. You can just remove slots. So you have to have one race in each period at least, but we can remove quite a few of these races and really reduce the calendar down to what we want, and then you can swap them in any order. If we wanted to, we could have Monaco be the finale. That's incredible, because I'll reveal, anytime I brought up the discussion of bringing a custom calendar editor to the EA F1 game, I've been told that the official party line is it's not possible, you know, for red tape or whatever. But now we know it's completely on the table. They could do it. They could do it. It's actually just showing now that if they can't implement it into the EA F1 game, it's simply because they've designed such a clunky game where the infrastructure does not allow you cleanly, natively to swap the calendar around like that. And that goes back to my point of, well, do better then. Make a game that's not that clunky and that you can have that sort of changeability with it, because it's just like now it's just not good enough, because this shows what is possible. We've got Abu Dhabi natively. We could put it at the front of the grid. We could put Losail in round 2. We could remove all these races. We can change this to a non-sprint round for the Austrian Grand Prix. Brazil don't want the sprint. I don't want any sprints. I'm not a fan of the sprints. Let's just remove all the sprints if you wanted to. Or if you're a absolute madman, you could add sprints to every single race you wanted to get like double whammy the action of 24 races plus 24 sprints. You can do it all here in any order you want. It's just great. This is lovely. And again, you can save it as a slot. So you make a really cool calendar that you like, save it, and then it's there forever. And then if you want to change it and go to a different one, you can do, save that, and then you can interchange season to season. You can swap out the different slots you've got for new game saves, etc. And then obviously they talked about you can randomize, by the way, as well, but completely randomize it in between seasons. When you start career mode, let's say you finish season 1, it will give you the option of, I think it was 30% randomized, so it's kind of out of your control, which I kind of like. It's kind of cool to let the game random number generate the customizability of the calendar season to season, because it kind of then is out of your hands and it gives you a bit of jeopardy of, oh, okay, this year's calendar is a bit harder for my team, etc., or whatever. Again, you can click randomize season to season and then just randomize it completely as well. So yeah, again, number 2, absolutely cooking. 1, amazing. 2, amazing. 3, gonna be amazing, because this is rules and regulation customization. Again, we're met with a really amazingly well presented screen. Look at this. Look at this. Allocations, chosen schemes we've got, season prize share, point scheme, CFD limit, wind tunnel limit. So we've got point scheme. We've got point scheme 1. So what are these different? So these are the points. So this is the kind of key here. So the points are here, cost caps here, CFD, wind tunnel. So points, I'm going to adjust. Scheme 2 is the old school F1 point system where it's 10 for a win, and then it only goes down to the top 8, with 1 being P8, and then 2, 3 obviously going up then. We've got Scheme 3, where it's a little bit even, if it's even more difficult, it's the top 6 only gets points then, and then we've got Scheme 1 again. So it's not fully customizable in terms of you can't like go and give the points to every single driver, like the top 20. So we didn't really understand the detailing of that in yesterday's post when they revealed it. But you only get these 3 schemes. But I say only. You've got to remember, we've never had this in an F1 game. Like this specifically, we've never had in any F1 game. This is mega. To be able to have 3 different schemes of points is awesome. We can change pole position bonus lap, fastest lap bonus lap, double points for the last race. We've got aero testing scheme. So we've got 4 different ways you can do the CFD. So scheme 1 is as it was, I feel, in the base game. Scheme 2 is a level playing field. All the teams, you get the same amount of development. Scheme 3 is heavily skewed to helping out the bottom teams. And then Scheme 4 seems like a happy in-between Scheme 1 and Scheme 3, basically. And then we've got the powertrain limits. We can change the engine limits, ERS, gearbox limits. And then here we've got the cost cap, which you can actually fine-tune the cost cap to exactly what you want within a decent margin, because of course it would be silly to put a cost cap probably lower than even 100 million, but they've gone for a limit of 125 million. And then what's the max limit you can go to? Is it going to just be oh, here we go. Oh, max limit of 100. I mean, to be fair, having played enough seasons of F1 Manager, I can tell you, you're never going to be able to even spend this much money in a season in terms of the ATR you have available. You're just not going to end up spending that much money anyway. But if you wanted to, you could give the cost cap, basically nullify it by just having it that high. And then this is the prize pool. So we got 2 different schemes here only, but it's still a bit of a difference of, so we got as it was basically, and then this is a little bit more money to the top teams and a little bit less to the bottom teams as it compared to the normal Formula 1 season. And then as usual with the last 2 menus, you can completely randomize everything, confirm that, save that in, and then you go. And then so you've done all your customization, and then you just click continue. So let's just go randomize there. So we've randomized that, and so everything is different. We click continue. I'm fine. I don't want to save the season, but you could save the season if you wanted to. And then you go in, and then so you've done all that customization. Then you still get the bog standard create a team menu where you can create your team. You can choose a story if you want, like a hungry newcomer, technical breakthrough, Phoenix Rising, industry giant. That's all as it was at launch of F1 24, but that's even after all that customization we did. You can still do all of this, create your team, go to next steps, and then we can pick our drivers and staff and whatever, you know, engines, car liveries. Let's look at the liveries here because there's obviously been a lot of new ones now. So these were all the base presets that we had for Create a Team Career Mode. And if you scroll down far enough, past all these ones, you then will eventually get to the creator ones. So if you click on this one, for example, this is my in-game livery, which you can't edit, but it's still insane to me that we've got our own livery in an actual Formula 1 game. But then past these creator liveries that are in-game, you've then got, these were the bonus ones, I believe, for like the deluxe edition of the game. And then you scroll down a little bit further, and then you've got the blue marked and the green marked here at the bottom are the DLC packs. So these are brand new liveries that haven't been in the game up until this point. 2 free DLC packs. So we've got different. So I think this one is actually called, I think in game this is called the Woking livery, because you can actually see the similarities. This kind of low-key looks like a generic McLaren livery from, actually, to be fair, from their Golf McLaren livery. Actually, that is giving me Golf McLaren livery vibes from, what was it, Monaco 2021. I think on purpose, they've made some of these liveries very similar to IRL F1 teams. Like, if you look closer at the shapes and stuff, if you change out some of the colors, you very quickly can get some real-world designs based, you know, with these different kind of color changes. So we like go through all the different, this one's a bit more zany, for example. This one's a bit more zany, but this one and this one, you can 100% see a real F1 team in that if you change the colors around. And then here we've got some more crazy ones. This one's a bit more of a heritage one. I think, to be fair, one of these packs is called Heritage, and then the other one is named a little bit differently. But we've got some really cool different new liveries basically that you can add on. So again, this just adds a little bit more life to the game as we go on, because remember guys, all of this is in the caveat of we're probably not going to get an F1 Manager 25 game. All these kind of things they're adding into this game as free updates, because this will basically set us up. If you're a fan of managerial Formula 1 games, these updates will basically allow you hopefully to play the game now for years and years to come, and still change out rosters, change out, you know, staff, whatever, make your own one in future seasons when we've got, you know, absolute fetuses in the car that are currently in only Formula 4 and Formula 3, making their way up the ranks. Because it looks like all the signs are pointing to that Frontier, sadly, have decided not to renew and go on with the F1 Manager 25 game, because commercially for them it wasn't very successful, which is very sad. Because with this update, and I've already thought this, I already thought in 2024 that the F1 Manager 24 game was the best F1 game that had come out that year. It beat F1 24, and it by an absolute mile. And now going to 2025, honestly, in a really funny way, F1 Manager 24, honestly, still probably might end up being the best F1 game of the year, depending on what they even bring out for F1 25. They're going to have to come out swinging now in F1 25 if they want to show up this incredible free update. And oh, by the way, I chose to stick with my created team, but we also know that you can create your team and then you can actually just choose one of the official teams to go with. So you could create a Brawn GP, let's say, like we could have named this Brawn GP, and then we could have gone against them in a McLaren. But then there you go. All of the roster changes are there. All the staff changes are going to be there. And you can just go ahead with your business. The calendar, all changed there. And this is all done without mods. There is not a single mod installed on this game at the moment. Nothing. This has all been done. I could have done this all on the PlayStation or the Xbox. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Like I showed my appreciation quite a lot in yesterday's video, so I don't need to go over it again. But Frontier, you're the GOATs. You're the absolute GOATs, and this really is the Titanic scene. We're going down, but it's going to be a beautiful going down. And you know what? As I saw one of you guys comment below in yesterday's video, this sets a gold standard of, you know, I hope for the sake of the legacy of this game and the Frontier development team that put so much work and passion into this game, I hope for their sake that this is that kind of gold standard free update that is basically going to allow players to play this for, like, you know, 10, 15 years to come. Like, I hope people are still playing this game in like 10 years time and they're still having a lot of fun with, you know, latest update rosters and whatever, or fake fantasy career modes and whatever, because the developers worked really hard and they deserved a lot more. It's a shame that the game commercially wasn't successful, because I think what they have created is the best managerial Formula 1 game that there has ever been, and the most in-depth one. And you can see clearly with the free update they did in December and the free update, this free update, how much passion and love there was at that studio and that team with this game. And it's just a shame that they're in a niche already. Like racing is a niche of gaming. Formula 1 within that is a niche itself. And then within that is manager game is a niche in itself. So they're playing, they were making a game in three tiers, three levels of niches. So it was always going to be very tough. I really hope they could have picked up more momentum. But it is what it is. I really hope that this game gets more love the rest of this year, and that it shows in like sales or player counts or whatever, because they deserve it, because it really is awesome. But yeah, that's my little love affection poet to Frontier devs. That has been the update for F1 Manager 24. It's slick as ever. It's awesome. It's implemented so well. Guys, if you have got F1 Manager 24, I implore you to go check it out. If you don't have it, it's honestly, hand on heart, it is, I will say this, F1 24, not worth buying. F1 Manager 24, worth buying. At the moment, worth buying with this update. It really, really is. Guys, if you have enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.